Hey friend, good morning. Thank you so much for being here. I really do appreciate it. This is Simple Beauty with Tasha, where we love all things beauty. In today's video, girl, check it out. Check out this look. Look at the eye look. It is so pretty. It is so pretty. And I want you to go ahead and check out the entire video so you can see how I came up with this look. I did a little something different with the eyeliner today. Not only did I give you this beautiful look, friend, but we had a really good story time. I'm talking all about where I'm from, St. Louis. I would love it if you would subscribe to my channel. Go ahead and click the subscribe button, the post notification bell, and that like button. I really do appreciate you, but I won't hold you up today. Let's get into the video. Good morning, friend. Thank you so much for clicking on my video today. Today is a story time video. This is my second story time video. Hold on. Had to get the moisturizer. 2 pumps of the Fenty Beauty moisturizer, and the packaging looks like that. So we do this every morning to moisturize our skin and get it nice and plump and ready for makeup application. But yes, this is the second story time video. Today, I'm going to tell you all about where I am from. The next product is the Supergoop Mineral Matte Screen, and the packaging looks like that. We are going to use this as our base. Not our base. We're going to use this as our primer and also our SPF. This product keeps your makeup matte all day. I use this in conjunction with the Charlotte Tilbury setting spray. I'm actually going to, during the Sephora savings event, I intend to purchase the Danessa Myricks setting spray. I heard it's really good, and I love the fact that that's a Black-owned brand, and I heard that the setting spray really does keep your skin matte. So yeah, y'all, I am from St. Louis, you know, where we say her, cur, were, like Nelly. I actually went to the same high school as Nelly. He is much younger than me. I don't know Nelly, but we went to the same high school. The eyeshadow palette that we're using today is the Pat McGrath Bronze Ambition palette. You can't get this anymore, but I keep telling you guys, don't concentrate so much on the palette, but rather concentrate on the technique and the shades, because I'm using basically brown and gold shades. You've got brown and gold shades in your collection, I am sure. This is a beautiful palette, very neutral. You know, you've got these shades. So St. Louis. So first, let me kind of explain how St. Louis works. In St. Louis, you've got St. Louis City, and then surrounding the city, you've got St. Louis County. So the city is surrounded by a bunch of counties. And St. Louis City and St. Louis County that surrounds it, all of that makes up St. Louis. So I lived in St. Louis County, one of the counties. But initially, when I was born, we lived in the city. And one day, my parents came home. It was actually my parents and my sister arrived home, and the front door was sitting open when we lived in the city. I was in my mom's belly, and our house had been broken into. I think we lived in some little like flat or something. The house had been broken into. The door was sitting open, and it was the second time it had happened. So right then and there, my father said, nope, we're moving. So we moved to the house that I grew up in no, I wasn't in my mom's belly when that happened. I was a baby. I'm sorry. I was a baby, because when we moved into our house, the one that I grew up in, I was 11 months old. So I'm going to start out, y'all, with the brown shade right there in the middle for my crease. I would say it's a medium brown shade. So we moved to the house that I grew up in when I was 11 months old. And on this block were kids my age. There were probably, I don't know, I would say at least 10. That's a lot. At least 10 kids on this block. And they were all my age. Either my age or 1 to 2 years older, 1 to 2 years younger. the vast majority, we were all basically the same age. So now I'm going to use the deepest shade in the palette right here, right there, and just kind of dab it in my outer V. Just a little dab, dab, dab. So yeah, it was so much fun growing up on my block because of all the kids that were right at my age, right at my age. We used to have block parties. We played in the street all the time. We played all the games that you would imagine, you know, hide and go seek, jump rope, double dutch, all the things. It was so much fun growing up with all those kids that were basically my age. I also met my best friend that I had back then in elementary school. I feel like it was first grade when we met, and we stayed best friends all the way through college. So that was just another, you know, aspect of my childhood that was really great. Elementary school was basically all black. My middle school and the high school were basically all black. I mean, I would say 85, 90% black, you know, so. And then, of course, I went to Tennessee State, which is a HBCU. So that's kind of basically how I grew up. The block that I lived on was all black. That's basically how I grew up. For the lid today, we're going to go in with this shade right here. And it's kind of a bronzy shade. Gold, bronze, antique gold shade. And I'm just going to use my finger. Gorgeous, right? So, you know, St. Louis is known for the arch. Gateway to the Midwest. So let me know, have you ever been up in the arch before? You know, I heard when you get up to the top, there's an elevator that takes you up one leg of the arch. And when you get up to the top, you get out of the elevator and you, I guess, walk on like this platform of whatever it looks like. I don't know. But there are windows and you can see all around. But I heard when you get out of the elevator, it sways, girl. I know that's an engineering situation where, you know, it has to have movement. But no, thank you. I already told y'all, I don't want to fly. I don't like to fly. I don't want to fly. There's no way I'm getting up in that arch, boo. I have been in the bottom of the arch. In the bottom of the arch is a museum. I'm sure it's about, I don't really remember. It's been a long time ago, but I'm sure it's about, you know, the building of the arch and all of that. But growing up in St. Louis, going to the arch is just not something that we ever thought about. So honestly, I really don't go home to St. Louis often. Both of my parents no longer live in St. Louis. So I just don't find myself going home much at all, really hardly ever. Let's try this shade right here and put it like, almost kind of like a inner corner highlight. I'm using a brush that's probably too large. This is a pinched shader brush. Doing something a little different. It gives it a little bit more brightness, if you can tell that. Oh yeah, and you see how it gives it a little bit more brightness. I will blend it. I would love to know where you're from. Okay, I really like that. I'm gonna blend this up at the top a little bit more. Maybe go in with that brown shade a little bit. Kind of bring that back just a little bit right in here. I got a new camera. I'm so excited about it. I think that I have finally figured out the lighting for it, the settings to make it look brighter. The video that I put out, the video that I posted about the Natasha Denona Soft palette versus the Juvia's Place palette, girl, the lighting was all over the place in that video. Part of it was my fault, part of it was me, but also part of it was the camera. So I finally figured out how to make the lighting look better. And I think that's probably I'm looking over here at the viewfinder, but that's probably the last thing I think that I need to do to like customize the settings. You know what I'm saying? I'm excited that I've got this new camera that is doing all the things that I want it to do when I'm filming a video. I'm gonna go ahead and blend out this concealer. When I think about my childhood growing up in St. Louis, one of the things that I think about the most, or comes to mind the most, is really just growing up on a block where you know, I had all those friends and kids that were my age, I also think about how we used to play in the street a lot, even from a really young age. Like I can definitely remember my inchworm. Do you all know what an inchworm is? Girl, if I ever have grandkids, I am definitely buying my child an inchworm. I'm going to try my best to find a Baby That-A-Way. I wonder if they still make Baby That-A-Way. Do you all know anything about that? She used to crawl and her butt would go like that. Girl, so cute. And then the one, what was the one called, the baby doll where you could feed her? And you had to buy the food to feed her, and she actually did her business in her diaper. Y'all remember that? Let me know the name of that baby doll. I can't remember, but I had that. Like, those things are the things that I think about. We had some of the best Christmases. My father is, I would say, frugal, but man, whatever you had on your Christmas list, baby, you got. Now, don't ask him for anything during the rest of the year, because the answer would be no. But if you put it on your Christmas list, you got it. And so we had some of the best Christmases. So that's another thing that I think about when I think about growing up in St. Louis. Where are you all from? Because I just would really love to know. And do you know anything about St. Louis? Is there anyone out there that's from St. Louis? I would really love to know. Please let me know down below. This is the One Size powder, and it is in the shade Marigold. That's what we're gonna use today to set our concealer. That's what that shade looks like. It is a deeper, I would say, shade of yellow. And I just like to tap off excess powder. Told you guys I prefer the brush, especially with this powder, because it's less wasteful, right? This is the Fenty Beauty Pressed Powder. It's actually a powder foundation. Do you all know of any other powder foundation that I could try in a matte version? Because I'm really interested in trying a new one when the Sephora savings event rolls around. I want to say it's in 2 weeks. I would love to put 1 or 2 powder foundations in the matte formula in my cart for the savings event. So please let me know if you have any suggestions. Over the years, I've heard good things about the Makeup Forever powder foundation. I think that it's like a full coverage powder foundation. I haven't heard anything about it in a while, but I think that's what I used to hear. So I may look into that one, because I do like, you know, full coverage. I've got hyperpigmentation, so full coverage sounds really good to me. All right, I'm back. The SD card needed to be emptied. This is the MAC bronzer. It's the MAC Skinfinish bronzer in Richer Golden, and it's the matte version. I'm going to use the Sephora brand 50.5 brush. It's a pinched brush, works really well for bronzer. I don't know, ever since I got the Too Faced bronzer, this one, the cream bronzer, ever since I started using that one, it seems like all other bronzers look gray to me. Because that one is so beautifully brown. Like right there, see how that looks a little gray, does it? I don't know. Y'all know I love these nude stick stacks. I've got 3 shades. Today we're gonna go in with the Fruit Punch shade, and looks nice and bright like that. But all you have to do is have a light hand and it'll work out just fine. So let's go ahead and get that on the cheeks. But once I got to high school, y'all, I feel like I was just over it. Like I was just ready to move on, go to college. I remember even feeling that way when I was a sophomore in high school. Like, I'm so over this. I just want to go to college and, you know, move on. High school, I don't know. I didn't really and truly enjoy myself. I was a pom-pom girl in high school, and I'm sure you don't know what that is. But a pom-pom girl performs at halftime during the football games and the basketball games. We were in parades. I remember doing a competition or two back at the end. If I can find a picture, I will put it here of me in my uniform. But girl, our pom-poms were like this big back then. Right now, these days, the pom-poms fit in your hand and they're like just a little bit larger than your hand. Ours were like this, and it had a stick handle, and we would do, you know, routines with the pom-poms, girl. I did enjoy being a pom-pom girl. I did that 3 out of the 4 years that I was in high school. I decided my senior year, I didn't want to be obligated to that, and, you know, wanted to concentrate more on having fun my senior year. That was a good experience being a pom-pom girl, but primarily high school, I just kind of glided through it. I didn't really want to be there, to be real with you. Miss Tilbury, let's go ahead and spray the face and come back, do some mascara and a lip. So going back to my camera, it is a Canon EOS R50V. Canon made this camera for, you know, people who record videos for social media. It's an EOS camera, which customarily are like bulky, heavier, bulky cameras. So the camera is shaped like an EOS typical camera, but it's not as bulky. It's, you know, thinner, lighter, and all of that, but it still has all of the same functions as a typical EOS camera. I hope that all made sense. But I really love it so far. It's got viewfinder on the side, and it's just really nice. I'm trying my best to use the viewfinder. Actually, I probably should be in a little bit more. Okay, just when I was looking at the viewfinder, I realized I probably should be in a little more, so I brought it in. Girl, it's a really good camera. I got it $100 off. It's actually sold out on the site that I purchased it from, which is QVC. Let's put on some eyeliner, and let's use something really... Oh, you know what? I don't have a sharpener up here. I want to use this LSD liner by Urban Decay. That's what that shade looks like, but it needs to be sharpened. Girl, I'm not going to do that to myself. How about this shade? This is called Empire, and it's also by Urban Decay. I got these a while ago when they were 50% off during it was during the Ulta sale. This is a pretty purple shade. Let's go ahead and put that in our waterline. So my next story time video will be about how I got to Tennessee State University. So I'll talk a little bit more about the high school years and then how I got to TSU. And then I'm really, really hoping that the story time video after that will be of me and my husband talking about marriage and how we made it to year 29, girl. 29. Woo. Woo. So I'll see if he'll do that with me. Hopefully he will. Let's try the Rosy Mauve shade in the Anastasia of Beverly Hills Lip Velvet. Nothing like a everyday beautiful look that don't take all day. You know what I'm saying? Like, you could wear this out on a date. You could wear this brunch with your girls, to work. It's very versatile because it's so everyday looking. Basically, y'all, growing up in St. Louis was a lot of fun. I had all those kids on my block. I had a best friend. My dad was a little bit on the strict side, a little bit. But being an adult, you know how it is. I now see every single solitary time he told me no, it was the right decision, boo. It was the right decision. I didn't need to be doing those things. I didn't need to be going to those places. You know what I'm saying? So I thank God for that. Back then, of course, I thought he's too, strict. He's being mean. No, girl, no. He was being a dad. He was doing the right thing. And I appreciate every single solitary time he told me no. Well, y'all, that's the look, the story time. And I really do appreciate you being here. I've got videos that will pop up on your screen. Please give them a look. I think you'll really enjoy them. Also, if you enjoyed this video, please give me a big thumbs up and please give me a comment down below about where you're from. I would love to know. And so you don't miss any of the really fantastic content that I've got coming up for you, please go ahead and subscribe to my channel. I hope the Storytime videos that I'm posting allows you to get to know me a little better. And I truly appreciate all the support that you're giving my channel. But until next time, friend, please be safe and be blessed. Bye-bye.